Hi guys, this is IceMayne and today's video is the second in my 5-part series of top 10s trying to find out what is, in my opinion, the greatest game of all time. Today we're going to be going through the top 10 PlayStation exclusives. Same rules apply as mentioned in the Xbox video. These are exclusives to this console and I've tried to pick the best of the series. As you saw in the previous video, Master Chief topped the list with Halo 3. Now with PlayStation having so many exclusives, there were some great games that missed the cut. The likes of The Last Guardian, Little Big Planet and Journey. All brilliant games in their own right, I just didn't feel they were better than the following 10. So let's jump in and see what this top 10 brings.
Yeah, great. Change the channel. But the man said to stay tuned.
Starting off the list is PlayStation's own double act, Ratchet & Clank. Here we have the third in the series, Up Your Arsenal. This was bigger and better than the previous two, while also adding a ton of variety in terms of weapons, missions and ways of playing. Up Your Arsenal was the first game in the series to introduce Dr. Nefarious, the best villain in the franchise, so it could honestly be called the best game on that merit alone, but it threw in the multiplayer, which makes it an all-time classic.
Well, he got that monkey off his back.
Gran Turismo is the PlayStation equivalent of Xbox's Forza, but with more prestige. When Gran Turismo 3 hit our consoles in 2001, it was at that time one of the best looking games on console, and in fairness, it's aged pretty well, and it remains the benchmark which all other Gran Turismos aspire to. While not as big in terms of car selection as 2, 3 was a lot more refined. The attention to detail meant losing the unnecessary mid-range cars like your Saxos and bringing in Formula 1 cars. There's a reason GT3 is the best-selling title in the franchise to date. Bloodborne may not be for everyone, but for the Dark Souls crowd, it's nothing short of the Holy Grail. It has the brutal difficulty of that series paired with a much more aggressive combat style. The world is horrifying, as are the monsters, as are you, the hero, quite frankly. But it's an unforgettable experience that everyone should at least attempt to beat once. After slicing and dodging your way through the story, there isn't a satisfaction quite like beating Bloodborne. Shadow of the Colossus is one of those games that everyone wanted to be remastered for years and years, and then it finally happened. This is the kind of game that makes huge ripples in the gaming industry because it still felt as thought-provoking and artistic as it did when it originally released on the PS2. The simplistic gameplay of climbing up a monster to stab it in the skull has never been more thrilling. This is a genuine slice of gaming history, and you owe it to yourself to experience it.
Into the latest, greatest world of Persona! What a blast! Although I do have a question. What exactly is a Persona?
Persona 5 is not your typical RPG. It feels like you're playing a genuine anime. The story follows a group of Japanese high schoolers who become empowered as the Phantom Thieves. Their objective? Stealing items, corrupting the hearts of delusional adults. Whether you're infiltrating the psychological palaces of your chosen target or simply hanging out and building friendships via a wide variety of after-school activities, Persona 5 offers endless hours of fun to anyone with even the slightest love for RPGs.
You got this?
I got this.
It has never felt this good to be a superhero. In my opinion, SpiderMan is the greatest superhero game ever created. The only game in my mind that comes close to this level of brilliance is Batman's Arkham series. This game is just an absolute blast to play for every single moment you have the controller in hand. The story is gripping, funny, well-paced and a solid length. Visually, the game is stunning. Whether you're scaling Avengers Tower or diving off the Chrysler Building, the game is stuffed full of things to see and do. Easily the best superhero game of recent years, SpiderMan is an absolute storming exclusive for PlayStation.
Hi, is this the flight to Newark?
They say my tribe was the first. The first to hunt.
Futuristic tribal people hunting robot dinosaurs seems like an idea that could have gone terribly wrong, but in the end, Horizon Zero Dawn nailed it. The game is incredibly fun, while actually telling an interesting story in the process. You explore Horizon's expansive, enchanting open world as Aloy, an instantly likable lead who's a courageous hunter in this far future frontier. Whether you're hunting giant dinosaurs or exploring, whatever you set out to do in Horizon Zero Dawn, it's going to be incredible.
So, they have beaten you, huh? Your quest is over? What if it's only beginning?
Choosing which Uncharted to make this list was no easy task, but Among Thieves gets the nod. Nathan Drake's Nepalese Nightmare is one of the finest gaming experiences ever. There's no surprise a movie has been created off the back of the Uncharted franchise's success. Uncharted 2 didn't just raise the bar for video game narratives, it punched it into the sky, sending out shockwaves that will no doubt influence single-player games for the next generation and beyond. If you ask most people what the best PS4 exclusive has been this past generation, most people will tell you it's God of War. God of War 4 is a reimagining of the series in a way that could have gone poorly, but instead elevated it to new heights. The storytelling, the visuals, the combat, it is truly unmatched, and you could make the case it might be the best game of this generation. Yes, it's that good. Ditching the linear action structure of the originals, this outing lets you explore a more fully realised and beautiful Norse world, picking fights and solving puzzles as you go. The story is both well written and fast paced, with Kratos far more than a one-dimensional murder machine now. The combat is just as fluid and thrilling as it always was. There are heaps of things to discover, and each new area is more jaw-dropping than the next. Only Horizon comes close to showing the power and versatility of the PlayStation in the same way, making God of War an essential purchase for anyone.
After all we've been through, everything that I've done. It can't be for nothing.
The Last of Us is a story set in the year 2033, when a pandemic has spread and infected over 60% of the world's population. Very relatable right now as I record this, with COVID. But since the outbreak, the world has gone into a state of panic and frenzy as officials try to keep the situation under control. Enter Joel and Ellie, an unlikely partnership with their main quest to find a cure. The core of The Last of Us comes from experiencing the growing relationship between Ellie and Joel firsthand on their journey. The two develop an unbreakable bond during their trek to survive against zombie clickers, and the true baddie are the humans. The story is Oscar-worthy and the character development relatable. The Last of Us packs an emotional weight that we hadn't seen in video games before. It starts with the pulse-pounding opening sequence and ends with the shocking final plot twist that will spark debates among you and your friends for years to come. But it isn't for the faint of heart. This masterpiece brilliantly blends zombie-killing action with a gorgeous adventure story set in a truly terrifying post-apocalyptic environment. Stealth and attrition are key to surviving this hellscape, but as exhilarating as the action sequences are, what elevates The Last of Us is its rich, complex protagonists. The Last of Us is still one of the best video game stories ever told, and a true masterpiece of gaming. If you've not experienced it yet, please do take the pleasure of immersing yourself in one of the best games of all time. But that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you for watching. If you could like and subscribe, it'd mean a lot, and tune in next time. But as always, stay frosty.